Alrighty then, last part here, last thing we need to do is we need to get a graph where we can actually write an equation just from looking at the trend on our graph. And to do that, before we can do that, we have to look at this trend in our data and realize that this is an inverse relationship. So in other words, it's not a straight line, it's kind of a curve that does this. So, and we'll be able to see it a little better in just a second. So what we want to do is, if this is an inverse relationship between acceleration and mass, is we want to plot acceleration on the y-axis and 1 divided by the mass on the x-axis. And then we can see what that proportionality and that proportionality constant really looks like. So to do that, we're going to need another calculated column now that's 1 divided by our mass in kilograms. And it's a similar process to what we did before. So we go to Data, and we go to New Calculated Column. And this one, we're going to call this 1 divided by the mass. And 1 over m for the short name. And now the units, well, what are the units if we're dividing by the mass? It'll be 1 divided by kilograms. Or if you want, you could call that kilograms to the -1 power. And now for our equation, we're just going to do 1 divided by, and click on variables, and we want mass in kilograms. Remember, we made that big M for mass in kilograms. The little m was mass in grams, so we want kilograms. So 1 divided by mass in kilograms, again, you use your variables button to select your variable. Okay, we just want one of them there in the bottom. So 1 divided by mass in kilograms. And then we click Done. And now here's our new column. Our old columns are still there. If you want to see them, you can scroll back over here. Okay. So like I said, we want a graph of acceleration versus 1 divided by the mass. So, but we don't want to get rid of our original graph. So we're going to come here. We're going to go Insert Graph. And then when we look at this, you can use Control R, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold down Control and press R, and then I can see both graphs at the same time. Now this one that popped up here when I went to insert, this says 1 over mass and mass. Well, that's not what we want. We want acceleration and 1 over mass, which has units of kilograms to the -1 power, or 1 over kilograms. Now again, all my data is bunched up over here, so what am I going to do? I'm going to scale it so that I can see it a little better, and I want to zoom back out just once. Now to me, this looks kind of like a straight line here. Okay, maybe it'll be more convincing on yours if you have more data than this. But if this thing is a straight line, then that means that we really do have an inverse relationship here. Okay, so there's my straight line. And at this point, it looks like we've got all our data in there. At this point, we can sort of pause for a second, and we can write an equation of best fit for this graph. So I want you to take a second and do that. Okay, now that you have your equation of best fit written down, the next step is going to be to take this information that you got from your linear fit and from your equation of best fit that you wrote, and to transfer it up to our original graph and see if we can't fit a curve, an inverse curve, that'll fit nicely to our data. And that's what I'm going to show you in the last video.